No, we have to be very practical. And to be more practical, we have to understand how a balloon works. If you want to change altitude in a balloon, you have to drop ballast. Sand, water, all the equipment you don't need anymore, and then the balloon can be lighter and can climb. And I believe this is exactly what we have to do in life if we want to be innovators, if we want to be pioneers, if we want to be successful with the goals we have. We have to drop ballast because we have a lot of ballast. But the problem is that all the ballast we have is exactly what we learn day by day to keep on board. Certitudes, safety, exclamation marks, habits, paradigms, convictions, dogmas, common assumptions. All these things we learn to keep on board. And I don't know if you've noticed that each time we enter in a crisis as a human being, the first reaction is to hold ourselves to these certitudes because we believe they will make us stronger, but actually they only make us heavier and not stronger. So if we want to be able to change altitude and to take advantage of all the problems of life in order to make opportunities from them, we have to be able to identify very clearly what we deeply believe and try the opposite. If there is one sentence you can remember from that speech, it can be this one. If you have a hard goal, hard challenge, difficulties, problems, crisis, identify very clearly on which paradigm your strategy is based and try the opposite. I'm not saying, of course, that the opposite is always better. What I say is that if we manage to believe in one way and at the same time to believe the other way, we are never prisoner anymore of just one line going in the wrong direction. Because we will have thousands of other lines in front of us. We'll have thousands of solutions in between that we can choose. And if we do that, what's going to be the future? For every second of our life, the future will never be a single possibility. One line going somewhere. No. The future is going to be at every single second of our life, made out of all the lines who go in all the directions at every possible altitude in 3 dimensions. Because it is so much more easy to focus on the short term, to reproduce all the time the same mistakes, to look left and right and to say, everybody does the same. Why should I do something else? Well, if you want to be really successful in life, to be a pioneer, innovating something new, a new trend to success, you have to take the risk of doing what the others don't do. And the pioneer is not always the one who succeeds, but the pioneer is the one who doesn't have fear of failing. He's the one who doesn't have the fear to make the first step and to try to make a difference and to change something in the strategy. And it's exactly what we had to do. We were in the middle of the Pacific, we were afraid, and we knew that the adventure, the real adventure, started at that point, in that moment of rupture. It was a crisis. It was a crisis. And at this moment, you understand that fear is something really important. Usually, people organize their strategy to have no fear. It's wrong. Fear is important. Fear is the signal that shows you that you are just getting outside of your zone of comfort, of your margin of safety. Which means that it's a signal that tells you you are at the point of being creative, of being innovator. Of course, there's maybe a little danger, but this is the moment where you have to replace the automatic behavior by the conscious behavior. In life, we work so much to be able to reproduce what we have learned, to work as computers, reacting more than proacting. And when you are in a moment of rupture like this, you have to switch off the autopilot in your head and start to be conscious of what happens, conscious of yourself, conscious of the situation. It's an exercise where you realize that the solutions very often are not outside of yourself, they're inside of yourself. And it's a connection to yourself. Suddenly you explore the inner world and not only the outer world. So in a crisis like this, it's also important to understand that if you accept this crisis, it will become an adventure. we have people who understand what they have to do. This is maybe the common denominator. There is nobody in our team who is designing a piece, or who is gluing two pieces together, or who is painting a part of the plane. Nobody. They all are making a solar-powered airplane to fly around the world and change the mentality of people towards clean technologies, pioneering spirit, and innovation. And each of them knows exactly why he's doing that. And I think this is the way to motivate people. If they are just gluing two solar cells together every day, it will never make a team, it will never make a success. But if they know that the two pieces they glue are part of something that potentially can change the world, then they will be completely committed. And this is why we have such an incredible team. Each one is a pioneer and an innovator.